It's the weekly show about ProAV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Good morning, everyone. This is Gary K. and
Steph Beckett.
And this is rAVe TV, our weekly TV. In fact, the industry's only weekly TV show that comes on live. We're every Wednesday live streaming at 9 a.m. as it is right now, exactly 9 a.m. We're streaming on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, ravepubs.com, right, Steph?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that's YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
right?
and YouTube. That's right. Yeah, YouTube. I always forget about YouTube. But, you know, it's funny. We have like 25,000 subscribers on YouTube or something like. Maybe it's 30,000. I forget.
It's 37,000 now.
Okay, 37,000. I'm like way behind. 37,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know, I actually saw an article yesterday, Steph, that surprised me about. Did you know that YouTube Shorts, which I barely even look at, I don't even know where I would see YouTube Shorts, but YouTube Shorts has more daily viewers than TikTok. 2 billion a day, and TikTok's at about 1.1 billion. They passed TikTok last month. It's growing that exponentially fast. But I don't know where you see YouTube Shorts, because am I missing something? Am I seeing it and not realizing that it's a YouTube short?
I think if it's vertical and you're watching it on your phone, it's a YouTube short. There's like a section of the YouTube app on your phone that you go to.
But I don't have the YouTube app on my phone. So is that how I would watch YouTube Shorts?
Yes, I think you can technically still figure out how to do it on your computer, but it's a lot easier to watch on your phone.
How are they getting who are these people that have the YouTube app?
I think young people.
But they watch TikTok all the time. I don't understand.
So like my friend has like a 10-year-old kid, and the kid watches YouTube Shorts. Like the kid will send me like a meme video, and it's a YouTube short.
I had no idea. I'm going to try to find that article really quickly. It had the numbers. It was like 2 billion versus 1.1 billion, and it was just 2 days ago. Yeah, here
the thing is, it's like all the same stuff. Like usually the creators like upload it to YouTube, to TikTok, to Instagram Reels. So
here's the article. It says YouTube Shorts absolutely dwarf TikTok. So sorry, I messed up the numbers. 200 times the number of daily views. 200 times.
Crazy.
So YouTube Shorts is now racking up an eye-watering 200 billion views, 200 billion views a day, compared to it's nearly 3 times the 70 billion daily views it was doing a year ago. It's 186% increase. And then TikTok is doing 2 billion. So it's 200 billion versus 2 billion a day. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
Because all I hear about is TikTok. I don't hear much about YouTube Shorts. I never see anybody talking about, hey, did you see the YouTube Short? But I always see people talk about TikTok, you know?
It has to be kids. It has to be like the little
I got to do
kids.
some more. You know, I teach this new media technologies thing at UNC. I got to look into this because I never really thought of YouTube Shorts as a social media. I looked at it as YouTube's like a clearinghouse of where people store videos, and then they embed them all over the place, like we do on our website with the videos we shoot at Infocom, which, by the way, we shot how many videos, Steph, at Infocom?
17,000 plus?
100. Or
1,700. Yeah, 17,000.
You just like,
I haven't had any coffee this morning.
Well, I know that we wanted to talk before we get into the news today. We wanted to do an update. I did see the Jurassic Park movie. Have you seen it yet?
No. Is it good or is it stupid?
It's the best one since the first one.
No way.
Yes, it's good. It's actually really good. You'll actually really enjoy it. It's not hokey. It's very much like the first one. It's very much people trying to escape the dinosaurs rather than hunt the dinosaurs.
Okay.
I thought it was really well done. Scarlett Johansson was awesome. It's funny. Apparently I read an article about, actually I saw an interview with her that was in an article, and she talked about how she had contacted, is it Universal? I think it was Universal, about how badly she wanted to do a Jurassic Park movie starting 20 years ago. So
Oh, wow.
20 years ago, she contacted, but they never offered one to her, even with all these, the Dallas,
Bryce Dallas
Howard got
Howard.
one,
Yeah.
and she was really disappointed that Dallas Howard got, because she said, look, I've been like bugging them about this. And then they decided to reboot the franchise and they offered it to her, and she took it without even talking to her agent.
I love that.
Yeah. So
Wait, so how many? So is it, there's like the original 3.
well, there's
and
like
then-
7 total.
Okay.
So you can kind of like mark off, the first and second one are actual Michael Crichton stories.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of them are just like other people have written them. In this case, Steven Spielberg was involved directly and helped write it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very much Steven Spielberg like. So I would definitely recommend it. I definitely would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see it.
And I haven't seen Superman yet. Is that out?
I think it comes out Thursday or Friday.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely want to see it. I keep hearing mixed reviews. I've heard some people say it's going to be really good. Some people say that they ran out of ideas and they kind of threw the thing together at the last minute.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I'm open to it. I'll watch it.
I'm sure you saw M3GAN 2.0.
I did.
Because
I did. It was really
you
bad.
love that kind of stuff.
The first one was good because, and I was telling Jeff this before we went live, that like the first one was so good because it like didn't realize how iconic it was. Like when a low budget film like kind of goes viral and like becomes iconic. The second one, it felt like it was trying to be iconic, if that makes sense. Like it was more aware, and I think that made it like less good.
I mean, the 2 movies we were talking about here are systemic of the problem with Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do anything too creative. They don't want to break out of the mold. They want to be very conservative.
Yeah.
They want to make movies that they know will make money, which I get. I get the idea of making money, but the truth of the matter is the audience is going to get bored of that, and they're going to stop, going. They're going to watch movies from home.
Yeah.
And we want that creative storytelling, right? We want to be wowed. We want that Inception movie to come along every once in a while, but it's just sort of like blowing your mind.
I mean, I feel like the most of the movies that have come out in theaters this year have been flops. Like the vast majority. Yeah,
I really like the F1 movie. I actually saw it twice now.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you what, man. Brad Pitt, I mean, he's 62 years old. He looks like he's 40. Like I mean, whatever he's doing, I gotta read about what he's doing and do what he does.
Botox.
His face isn't bloated though. Doesn't Botox make your face bloated or something?
No, just fillers make your face bloated. Botox is like what just takes the wrinkles away.
I guess
so we just gotta call up his injector. We just gotta figure it out.
I'll tell you what. So, all right, on to actual news. The July temperature check. What's it about?
So this month we are focusing on immersive experiences. So if you are focused on immersive and you're an integrator, or you're thinking about becoming focused on immersive, if you're a manufacturer, if you're an end user, this is for all of you. I'm just trying to get it kind of a feel for how big immersive experiences actually are in AV versus is this just something we're talking about. So from hotel lobbies to lecture halls, anywhere where you're kind of thinking of, putting in immersive audio or making your displays super, super immersive, kind of like how Sharp did with their booth at Infocom. This is just something I'm trying to figure out, like how present is it in the AV world?
I mean, if you work for XTG, any of these companies that's doing this too, you ought to fill out that temperature check. I mean, I have some data on that I'm not allowed to share, but I can tell you that division of AVI SPL that does immersive stuff, very big. Growing very, very rapidly, making lots of money. So I think that immersive experience, it's kind of like I've gotten to where I'm not going to go to a movie and see a movie in a theater unless I see it in IMAX or a theater that has like incredible audio or has food delivery to my seat, stuff like that. Like, because otherwise I might as well just watch it on my, big TV at home.
Right.
So I think that's kind of like the direction, it's sort of like, when you watch a basketball game or a football game on TV, you get like 20 different camera angles and you get all the data streamed to you in real time. When you go watch it in person, it's supposed to be a better experience, but in some cases, in many cases, and in most cases, it's not.
Yeah.
You park a long way away. You walk a long way. Sometimes it's raining when you're getting there. Sometimes your seats are not as good as you thought they were going to be. The lines for concessions are really long. Lines for bathrooms are really long. Like, it's one thing after another, and you're like, next time I'm just watching this on TV. And that's what's happened to sort of like entertainment. And that's what happened to malls, right? I mean, it's the equivalent of the mall. It's like, I just ordered on Amazon and get 2 different versions, send back the one I don't want. I mean, that's kind of what's happened, right? I mean, the experience at a mall is not as pleasant as just staying home and there's even studies done of the endorphins that go to your brain when you try something on and really like it. It's the same as when an Amazon box shows up to your front door that you're expecting. Same endorphin. So if you go to the store and nothing's available that you were looking for, it kind of like damages your psyche to do that again. So that's why a lot of malls are, the Mall of America was like the first mall that I could remember that was experiential, right? They put a daggone amusement park inside of it.
Yeah.
I think more and more malls are going to become experiential, driven by our market, like what XTG is doing and with AVISPL and the others are. That's the future, right? I mean, our industry is a big part of this. I like this temperature check stuff.
Yeah, they have to do something. I mean, like the malls have to do something because the people are just not going like they used to.
Yeah, I think our mall. We have this little small mall that's near us that has. I remember when it opened. Friends would come visit me from California. Your Nordstrom's a C store. I was like, what?
And I didn't even know there were levels of Nordstroms.
Like, apparently our Nordstrom's basically a Walmart Nordstrom, right?
I mean, it's not great. There just usually isn't a whole lot there.
Nordstrom, right? And they've upgraded it to a Target Nordstrom recently. And because of that, we now have not just a Lululemon, but we have a Viore and an Alo coming, which is really surprising me. So our malls. So the thing is like, if we didn't have that cool factor stores associated with it, you wouldn't go, right? I mean, because otherwise you might as well just buy it on Amazon. But hey, let's move on. CEDIA has launched their first national campaign to highlight certified smart home integrators. There is a certification in the home AV world that you can earn, just like CTS in the commercial AV world has been around for a long time. Basically, it's called a CEDIA certified professional. And, the idea behind that is that these integrators know what they're doing. And of course, they go through, certification and education to get that certification. And the idea is to use that as the driver of why do it yourself in your house? Why not use a CEDIA certified professional and you get an amped up experience?
Absolutely. And I have pulled the video of the campaign that we can show.
Let's check it out.
Imagination is powerful. With today's smart home technology, almost anything you can imagine can be reality.
Movie time?
Sure.
Designed and installed by a CEDIA smart home professional. Home automation lets homeowners experience memorable moments in the comfort of their home.
Okay, it's time for bed.
Magical, isn't it? Keeping your home and family comfortable and secure with the touch of a button. Secure, seamless, simple. Make your home magic. Find a CEDIA smart home professional at CEDIA.org.
That was a little weird. We kind of went dark for a second there.
I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty good. I'm I'm impressed. I don't know where they're going to run that. I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money to run in consumer linear television. Although linear television is kind of desperate right now, they might be giving away spots. But it's for it to get seen. I don't know. Maybe you can make a deal with. I think the irony would be make a deal with Best Buy and have it running on all the TVs in a Best Buy.
And also,
Maybe.
like, I don't know what it costs to have a like Hulu commercial or a Netflix commercial.
Yeah, the nice thing about those like Hulu, you can actually contact them directly and run it. You don't have to go through programmatic advertising. You can actually do that directly on Hulu now.
Because Durham Tech had a commercial on Hulu for me the other day.
Yeah.
So like people are doing that. So
yeah, that may be what they're planning on doing. But it's a good piece. Very highly produced. Good production value. But speaking of good production value, Shure is a sponsor of rAVe TV. We couldn't do this without them. And part of good production value and part of good meetings, part of good experiences in general is audio. And this is a video that I think you'll really like this because, it's like good enough audio isn't good enough anymore. Check it out. I think you'll appreciate this. Something you can show your Okay, well done, Sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Open AV Cloud. We've talked about this a few times before. So this is an organization, kind of like a coalition within the AV industry, and it is kind of building up with manufacturer partners, and it basically aims to build an open, interoperable AV ecosystem spanning the entire value chain. So this is for manufacturers, integrators, end users, everybody. Well, they added some new members, which I was actually surprised about. Adobe, AppSpace, Sharp, and Bose Professional. They have been picking up new members what feels like every day.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a good initiative because the idea is to make it where everyone can access everyone else's API. So you can still have a private API, but still make it, a custom API, I guess you'd say, or proprietary API, but still make it available for some of the functionality through the API, so that when you want to turn things on and off and know whether it's on or off, or you want to have the ability to raise the volume up and down, some basic functionality, depending on what the product is, know what input something's on, things like that. Those are things that everyone needs access to. We don't need to necessarily make the API completely open where they have access to modifying the product or firmware, software updates, things like that. That could be optional based on the brand, but to give some basic functionality and make it available to everybody is a great idea. So I think this is a move forward for an industry that shows a level of professionalism, right? Because when you're a small industry, you're kind of protecting your turf. And I think our industry has sort of matured out of that.
Yes. Well, I also love that. So like Shore was a very early member of this, and I was talking to them about it, and they were like, "Look, like we would love for you to use only Shore products, but we just know that's just not how it is. So why would we make it harder for you to do that?"
Right. Because
So
you're going to use some Shore and some Sennheiser and some other
some
brands.
Bose professional, yeah.
And so that way the products can talk to each other.
Yeah.
So,
Why wouldn't you want them to, you know?
yeah. So in other news, other industry news, I guess we should say, Brad Seuss's Impact Fund, which is managed by the Avixa Foundation, awarded its recipients. I guess last week, I guess it was, we published the article. It's on ravepubs.com. Steph, what do you think?
Yes, so the first one went to Rosie Riveters, which this is a very popular organization in our industry. This kind of aims to help like women, like young women, young girls get into STEM a little bit more, like a little more easily. And then Tech 25 and then WorkSource Montgomery. So Tech 25 is a nonprofit that addresses the demand for trained AV broadcast and event technicians that kind of helps place them in full-time industry roles. And then WorkSource Montgomery is like it has like a Launch Your Future employment program, which helps to provide young adults with career exploration opportunities. So all of these organizations are about like helping place people into future jobs. So I think that they're all doing really great work, and I'm excited that they were all recipients of this award.
Yeah, congratulations. And Brad was a good friend of mine, as he was for a lot of people in the industry, just a super good guy, and glad to see positivity coming from his legacy. And kind of news that not a lot of people noticed that we published is OnAir Solutions acquired SoundEffects. And I think more people knew SoundEffects than OnAir Solutions. And OnAir Solutions, SoundEffect, they're Australian companies. And I think that, this just shows growth in the market, right? I mean, what we're seeing is acquisitions either indicate constriction in the market, problems in the market slowdown, things like that, or growth in the market. I think this one reflects a growth in the market.
Yeah. I mean, it is acquisition season right now. So I think we're going to continue to see a lot more of these in the next coming months.
Yeah. So I think congratulations to them. And let's see, AV Pro Edge launched a line of wall plates for BYOD setups, mostly focusing on USBC. They also do HDMI, but mostly focusing on USBC. And, they're specifically designed to work with their own product lines. But, more and more people want that ability to just have the gear kind of hidden. And I think that, this makes sense. Of course, they're all HD-based, which, there's a lot of HD-based products out there, but this is this is part of their foray into HD-based, and not a lot of people know who AV Pro Edge is. I think they're still kind of like a hidden gem in the industry.
Yeah, they're cool though. So I highly recommend people check them out. So this is a piece by Lee Distad, and it made me laugh so hard when I was editing this yesterday. So this is called The Good, the Bad, and the OSHA Uncompliant. And he talks about like the importance of hiring a really good tech, right? Like good techs are kind of hard to come by. But he's like, sometimes you hire a tech that is so good at their job, but like keep them far, far away from customers, because like, yes, maybe they're so good at hanging flat panels, but like do not let them like be front of house. Like do not let them talk to a person. And he told a story about one guy who was like, he was a great tech, but had like no concept of shop safety. And so he was talking about how everyone called him Danger Steve, because like it's just kind of, he just kind of talks about, how it's like two sides of a coin, where like, yes, do you hire them because they're great at the job, but then like, is it bad that they don't pay attention to like OSHA regulations? So just give it a read. It's kind of about that difficulty of hiring a good tech, and where that becomes bad when they don't follow rules.
It's funny that you say that. Years and years and years ago, I was with Extron at the time, and we were on a big install for AT&T. This is a multi-million-dollar install, very well known in our industry. Some people that are watching this will remember this install. It was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, command and control center at the time. And I won't mention the integrator, but the integrator that was there was very well known, not around anymore. They've been purchased multiple times since then, different iterations of the organization. But what Lee describes here kind of happened in the sense that the setup was going, and there was one particular projector. It's a big command center, so you can imagine lots of projectors to build a multi-image command center to be able to for AT&T to be able to manage all their regional bells. Right at the time, they were all Southern Bell was owned by AT&T, Southwestern Bell. They're all okay. So one of the projectors was acting up, and the customer's giving a tour. The person in charge of the room for the customer, which is AT&T, is giving a tour to his bosses. Okay, so these are like upper level people at AT&T,
right?
And the guy who's doing the tour stops and says, "Hey, just out of curiosity, what's going on with that projector?" And the technician said, "Well, what's going on with it is that it's brand X." I won't say which brand he said. He goes, "They should have never picked that projector. This is one we always have problems with." And so he was being honest. The tech was being honest, right? And thought he was just directly answering the question. Well, the customer, of course, at that point in time is like now questioning that brand completely. And so, part of it is training people what to say, and part of it is training people what not to say, because you may have that personal feeling about something, but you may not want to express it at all times, right? In all cases. I think that's kind of related to that experience as well.
I think that's totally relatable. Yes. I don't know. You just got to have, they're the people that you have customer facing sometimes, and they're the people that you don't. So
and you got to, if they're going to be customer facing at all, even if it's just for 10 minutes every month,
train them.
Still need to be trained on what it's like to talk to a customer and what to say and what not to say.
Absolutely.
You're not lying to the customer. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, when you make a comment like that, look, that if that company was really that bad, they would not remain in business.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, every brand has a bad batch of something all the time, right? I mean, my phone slows down, and I think, oh, well, hey, the new phone must be getting ready to come out, right? I mean, because my phone starts slowing down. I mean, we know that doesn't actually happen, but that's kind of what everybody says. It's you can't say that flippantly when you're selling millions of dollars of this stuff to the customer, because then they start questioning. But hey, listen, as you also know, well, we can't do rAVe TV without our sponsors. Sure, we already told you about, and Crestron's another one of our sponsors. We want you to watch this video that talks about the Crestron mission, so that you get an idea what it's like to represent Crestron as a brand for the people that work there.
Our mission at Crestron is simple: enable exceptional customer experiences through technology.
Just simply describing controls and audio video technology really doesn't help people grasp the full extent of what we do.
We take all the different pieces of hardware that you have in your business or your house, and we bring all of that together into one solution.
Whether that's in your home, making it easier to just live through simple automation, or in businesses empowering employees to do more.
Crestron makes the best technology to enable people to share information and entertainment, to connect and collaborate, whether they're in person or remote, and to make any space super simple and easy to use.
Systems and solutions that people can rely on. That's our advantage. That's our difference. That's what it means to be true blue.
All right. Other news, what do we got? DataPath and their VSN wall controllers now support Windows 11, which is smart, obviously, because as Windows upgrades their different operating systems, they stop supporting the old ones. You can still get the Windows 10 version, that is as a default, but you can upgrade to Windows 11 for VSNs, any VSN system, for free. They don't actually even charge them for that. Of course, you got to have the license from Microsoft. And obviously, Steph, the advantage of upgrading these, especially in this case, where think about it, they're doing a lot of command and control stuff. Well, that's all about security. And so the biggest advantage of doing these updates is security. Anytime, I get a notification to do an update on my phone or my laptop, I do it just because I know that's where the security holes happen.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is a Christy case study. This is all about how Christie's projection mapping with their projectors transformed the X Park Aquarium, which is in Taipei. So definitely check that out. We have some really great pictures showcasing all of this beautiful mapping throughout this aquarium. So go ahead and check it out. I think you can go to bravepubs.com. It should be right on the front page.
Yeah, and then finally, we've got the ProAV Symposium coming up August 13th.
Yeah.
Got kind of two messages out there with regard to that. We have a couple of sponsors. We have ADI, Snap One is a sponsor, Lightwear. If you're interested in sponsoring and being part of the ProAV Symposium, if you're one of the brands out there that is marketing products to the ProAV integrator community and you want to be part of this, you want to have your own thought leadership part of it, contact me or Steph, or actually we can get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah.
Probably better to contact me than Steph because Steph is more on the editorial side, but I can get you to the right person on the sales side. So just send me an email, Gary at RAVEPubs or Gary at the But we want you to sign up to join it at 1 p.m. on August 13th. It is absolutely free. You will we'll apply for CTS, so you'll get some CTS. We can't. I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 hours. What do you think, Steph?
These are usually like up 2.5 hours.
Okay, so maybe we'll get 1 to 2 CTSs since it's not product specific. Get something out of it, but in any case, sign up if you want to learn more about it. All you got to do is go to launch.com, lavnch.com, and if you have a Launch account, then it's simple to sign up. If you don't have a Launch account, join Launch so that you can attend all of our events and also have access to all of our archived events. Yeah, and that's it, Steph, right?
I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And we'll see you again at noon. And then we'll see you again next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Gary, I have a good time doing this every week.
Same. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us. Everyone have a great day and a great rest of your week.
It's the weekly show about ProAV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.